Hi everyone, this is Big Boss Calvin 83. I came across this article on Facebook, and there's a lot of stuff that is just ridiculous in this article. And there's a lot of stuff that I need to smack down because it's just ridiculous and absurd. And it's just very insulting, and it just promotes gynocentrism and misandry. I'm pretty sure this article was written by a feminist, a woman. Obviously. Why women need to start asking men out because men have no balls. Now, I'm going to read this article and I'm going to give my commentary along the way. It's not that men don't have no balls. It's because we're being smart. And I'll explain why men don't want to fucking approach you and ask you out anymore. So right here, ladies, it's been said before, but I'll say it again. They just don't make them like they used to. No, they don't make you women like they used to. It's a sad day for men. But continue. There's no door holding, no hand holding, and definitely no free drinks. There's no taking off hats or courting through innovations. There's no smooth moves, no jackets to dinner. There are no flowers, no tables we can't buy candlelight. But most importantly, there are no dates. Ooh, let me get to that. Let me just skip through this article. This first part. If you're a single woman, you probably envision your 20s as a roaring social scene full of expensive dinners and lavish nights out. You probably thought you have a boyfriend, or at least a few dates a week. Let me get excuse me. Let me say this. Chivalry is dead, and you women killed it, particularly feminism. You women have always said during the time since feminism has taken off and still continues to thrive that I don't need no man. That's what most of you women say. I got my own place. I got my own car. I got my own just over broke. That stands for job. And you say you can do things by yourself. Whatever a man can do, you can do better. So that's why men are not doing those chivalrous things, because chivalry is dead. You killed it. You killed it for your own ignorance. Now let's get through the rest of this part. You probably thought you meet a guy at a bar and he asks you out. I'm sorry. You probably thought you meet a guy at a bar and that he asks for your number. You probably thought excuse me. You probably thought you'd be on your way to dinner next week. After too many nights spent in bars and one too many phone numbers given out, you've probably realized the sad truth of the situation. You're going on any dates or being courted in any type of manner because unfortunately men these days are cowards. She's mad as hell that she's not getting laid. Well, the reason why men are not asking you out or pursuing you is for the simple fact that it has nothing to do with being cowards. It's called being smart. No, you just look at harassment claims that women file against men, especially sexual harassment on school grounds and workplaces. And if you talk to a woman on public and giving her an advance, you make if a man makes his advances toward you women, and if he's undesirable that you perceive him to be, you want to file harassment, street harassment. and you bitch about that, and you bitch and complain about that. But when men respect your wishes and don't do that, you women still bitch. So basically, if you talk to a woman, it's a damn problem. If you don't talk to her, it's a problem. And this is what she's saying. Continue. Well, to be fair here, not all men, but a lot of them don't make eye contact with you in the bar, but never come over to. They'll get your number, but never call. They'll offer to buy you a drink, but never pay. Well, you women are the cowards because y'all don't like making the first move, and y'all don't approach men, and y'all can't handle rejection, and that's why you don't do it. You just don't want to be embarrassed and humiliated and get your feelings hurt, or encounter some hostility or disrespect, or the man just won't speak at all. If you approach a man and he just walks by you, that's what a lot of you women do. Sometimes it's not a thing of rejection when it comes to men, whether they approach women or not. It's about the disrespect. It's about you women being narcissistic, conceited, rude, condescending, belligerent, and you humiliate the man and you embarrass him and you shame him and put him down and you make him feel bad about himself for approaching you. You just crush his self-esteem and his ego. Well, I wouldn't say ego. You crush his self-esteem, and you just so disrespectful that men don't want to put themselves through that. And you women get a big power trip for doing that. But you women don't want to, or you women, a man will approach you and you won't say nothing. You just walk away. You just won't acknowledge him. That is just rude, and that's just blatantly disrespectful. And that's why men don't want to fucking approach you. It's not about the man being a coward. You're the one who's a coward because what you do to men, you're afraid of. You're gonna get a dose of your own medicine. You're afraid of being rude, put down, insulted, and humiliated and embarrassed. You're afraid of a man being belligerent towards you, hostile towards you, or just don't talk to you. And you women can't handle that. You just can't handle what you dish out. Y'all like to dish it, but you can't fucking take it. You just don't like to have a dose of your own medicine. And that's your fear. And that's why some of you women don't, well, most of you women don't ask men out, or you don't approach men because that's your fear. Why don't you just admit it? Instead of making this long-winded article that I got to read through because there's just so much bullshit that needs to be refuted. And as far as making the first move, y'all have a problem with that. Because you'll take it the wrong way and you'll be offended and you'll label him as a creep or a perv. But you women don't want to make the first move because, oh, I don't want him to think that I'm a slut, I'm an easy. When that's not the case. You don't want to get rejected or come across resistance and you just can't handle it. Let's just be honest. I watch men pine over women, talking to them like I watch men pine over women, talking about them like future wives, yet after staring at them for 2 hours, let them walk away. I watch men chase women down for their phone numbers, yet I watch men chase down women for their phone numbers, yet wait a week to text them, acting like it's something they simply forgot about. I've watched men spend an entire night talking to a girl, yet never give up the nerve to ask for a number. And the reason why men don't do that is because they don't want to play the phone game and they don't want to have a fake fucking number. Or do y'all just say no? Then y'all say persist. Then if the man persists, then it's harassment. You know, it's just men can't win for losing. You as a man, you just can't win. That's why men are going their own way. Because it's shit like this. It's unbelievable. But to continue reading this article, we're dealing with a new breed of men, and it's not the kind we grew up dreaming about. It's the want what I want but don't know how to get it type. It's a sweet and cuddly mama's boys who grew up terrified of making the first move. It's the guys who have so much to say but don't know how to say it. See, you women expect men to do it all, and you women have this in that point, in that part of the article, and right here, basically you basing your ideal man, your perfect man, based on a fantasy that doesn't exist. Those men that you dream about don't exist. This is not Hollywood. This is real life. Grow the fuck up. Now, the unfortunate paradox for women, paradox for a woman, is that she must be chased and the chaser. She must be the target and the shooter. She must play coy and simultaneously pursue him. Anyone notice the problem here? Yet again, women are left to do all the work. We're left playing both sides of the game because they simply forgot how to play. There's your problem. You women play too many games. And men don't want to play no games. And men don't want to get in no argument, no drama, and no debate. Continue. That's your problem with you women. You play too many games and you think it's cute. And men are just not in the mood to play any games. I mean, she's just telling on herself. That's why she don't have a man, because she play all these games and mind games. It stems from a number of factors, but most so I don't know how you say this word. Prominently from the fact that men don't know what the hell they want from us. Oh yes, we do. We know what we want. But I'll explain later when we finish reading this. They want a virgin and the whore. They want the slut and the girl. They want a girl who's hard to get, but they don't know how to get her. First of all, we don't want a woman who plays hard to get. And for most men, some men fantasize about a woman being a good girl but a freak in bed. But as a man gets older and gets wiser, as men mature, we don't want that, because the so-called good girl who's a slut is exactly that, a slut, and she cannot be trusted. Most men want, I hate to break it to you ladies, they prefer the virgin, or someone who's at least close to being a virgin. Someone men want a woman who has self-respect and has respect for her own body. That's what a real man wants. I will continue just reading. Because they don't know what they want, they'll end up chasing nothing. It's a dilemma of the overcrowded buffet. There are too many options to choose from. There are too many options, so they choose an empty plate or something that they don't even like to begin with. Now that's just BS right there. Now this woman obviously don't approach men, and she just deals with guys who approach her. So she has no perspective, because a woman don't have to do anything to get a man. They just sit back and take their pick, and they're not happy because they don't approach men, they don't interact with men, they don't introduce themselves. They just sit back and deal with guys that come up to them, and they're not happy about it. And I got to say, if you want something, you're gonna have to you women, you're gonna have to learn how to approach a man and know how to talk to a man, instead of just sitting back, looking pretty and waiting to take your pick. Because when you do that, you get these. You women complain about these no good men, these no good males, and you're just not happy at the options. And men don't have no options. You women do. You have a lot of them. You understand? You women have the options. You have all the choice and all the say so. But most of you women have had your life handed to you, everything handed to you. You never had to work for it. You never had to fight for it or be competitive to get it. But you just want something just handed to you. You just want this perfect man to just come in this perfect package when there's no such thing as a perfect man. Just like there's no such thing as a perfect woman. Y'all just sit back and just take your pick, and you're not happy of what you picked. You women can't have it both ways. Take time to get to know men, or all men across the board, and you wouldn't have this problem. This leaves women making all the moves. We must tell them what they want if we're going to get anywhere close to the goals we had for ourselves. But it will never be as we fully imagine, because in our dreams, men weren't timid or scared little boys. As far as scared little boys, that's just a shaming tactic, because a man won't do what she wants him to do. Now she's attacking our manhood as men. In our dreams, men are the ones with the balls to ask women out. No. Like I said before, women, how about you get the courage to ask a man out? And you know what we go through. Why don't y'all be a man for a day, and you'll find out how difficult it is. Ladies, it's not what you think. They're scared of you. They'll never admit, but you scare the hell out of them. After years of social conditioning, well, I agree with the social conditioning, but men are not scared of you like that. Just you're scared of the consequences and repercussions thanks to these anti-male laws, thanks to stuff like rape, which is particularly false rape accusations, the accusations of harassment, sexual harassment. That's what most men are afraid of. They're afraid of being accused of something they didn't do. They're afraid that you're going to get some manjana to come to your side, Captain Save-A-Hole, White Knight, and they're afraid of getting in a fight with another man who's going to try to play Captain Save-A-Hole, thinking that if he beats up on this particular guy, that he'll get the girl, but he doesn't. Continue. We have been duped into thinking that men are the strong ones, that they are the leaders, the protectors, the fighters, and the fighters. That they are the ones that see what they want and go after it. Here you go. What kills me about women on this one, men are the strong ones and the leaders and the protectors. When they don't respect male leadership, most women today want to actually run everything. They want to run a man and control a man. They want to run shit. You women know it's true. When a man's a man, if he embraces his manhood, being strong, being the leader, being the protector, the fighter, women complain and say they want equality. Women complain and say, well, men need to be more sensitive. When the fact of the matter is, men are very sensitive, more sensitive than you women care to admit. You want a man who's hard and just acts tough and want to pick fights with people and save you and then whatever trouble you start, you want a man to protect you. So basically, you want a man to put his life in danger just to protect you. And for what? What reason? There's no reason for a man to sacrifice his life for you when there's no reward. There's no benefit to doing that. Y'all don't respect male leadership. You want a matriarchy. You want this guy. You want men to have male responsibility, but devoid of leadership. You want a gynocentric society, but you want men to be responsible and do all the heavy lifting and all the labor, while y'all sit back all cushy and comfortable. Y'all want equality, but you don't want responsibility. You want power and privilege, but you don't want no responsibility, and you don't want to be accountable for what you do. One thing I agree with the woman who wrote this article. Well, the TV lied to you. You're right. The TV did lie to you. Men aren't these masculine displays of strength and perseverance. They aren't these persistent characters created by Nicholas Sparks and John Green. They aren't going to catch your eye and spend all night convincing you why you should be with them. This right here. You want a man to beg and beg and beg, and then when a man begs and begs and try to convince you to be with him, then, oh, he's a stalker. Oh, he's harassing you. Oh, he's a pervert. He's a predator. Basically, because if a man picks a woman he likes, and he chooses to have sex with a woman he wants, it's considered rape. A woman has the final decision into what man she wants to pick. A woman has the decision and has the right to choose whether she wants to have sex with a particular man or not. The woman has the final say-so. And like I said before, women have all the choice and all the say-so. It's not the other way around. You want men to beg and plead and try to persuade you so you can go out with them. And then when we do that, it's a form of harassment, a form of sexual harassment, because now y'all say, oh, he made these unwanted advances towards me after I said no. So if a man doesn't pursue you, it's a problem. If he does pursue you, it's a problem. See, you notice how she's flip-flopping throughout this article. You want a man to just to beg because it makes your ego feel good. It's just ridiculous. It's hard. Just continue. They aren't Noah Calhouns. They aren't Augustus Waters. Men are shy and timid and scared shitless of any woman with half a brain. No. What men are not scared or timid. I mean, most of you women don't have a brain. Y'all don't even use your brain. Y'all just go off emotion. You don't have no common sense. Most of y'all don't have no common sense, and y'all don't have no critical thinking skills. You don't think for yourself. You know, that's that shaming tactic of, you can't handle a strong woman. No, we just don't want to have a belligerent, confrontational, disrespectful, conceited, narcissistic, crazy bitch who's full of herself and condescending, and thinks she's just so superior because she got a vajayjay. I mean, what do you mean by half a brain? I guess women don't have. I mean, what about using your full brain? No, I forgot. That's just too much work, because most women are taught to be emotional, not logical and not rational. What men are told to use the whole brain and be conscious. Women are told not to. You know, but to continue, this part, the same men are shy and timid. Well, no, it's not. It's just recognizing the fact that since men in the West, in Western society, live in a gynocentric society, and you got all these anti-male laws catered to women. And I'll give you another example of female privilege. A woman can have sex with a man, then turn around and say it's rape, when obviously it was not rape, it was consensual sex, because she, in her mind, doesn't want nobody to think that she's a slut because she had sex with a particular man, especially if this man's considered undesirable and not part of the status quo. So women trying to protect their image, and some women just make false rape accusations or false claims of domestic violence just for attention, or just to hurt a man because they're on this freaking power trip. Move on. It's sad that the male ego is fragile as a woman's heart. Most of you women have no heart. If you're talking about male ego, that's mostly particularly younger men who are in their teens, who are still from middle school through high school, and even men in their early 20s, if rather men go to college or not. Men may have an ego, but Men may have at that age, may have an ego, but men grow out that stuff. Women have a big time ego, a big self-inflated ego because of this gynocentrism that's being promoted through society. That women are smarter than men, women are more mature than men, women are better than men, women are more intelligent, women are more spiritually sound, women are emotionally strong, women are stronger than men. It's just all that propaganda and all that BS that's being promoted. And a lot of women do walk around bigoted, sexist pricks. A lot of women are fooling themselves, and they just think they're so superior to men because they got a vagina. And as far as women having a heart, men have more of a heart than women do. You know, y'all the one with the ego. It's not the men that have the issue, because men grow out this ego thing and trying to prove himself to women. He outgrows it, especially when he hits his mid-20s. He understands what you women are on. But continues, but like I said before, you women don't have no heart. Most of you don't. Not all, but a lot of you don't have no heart and no compassion for men. And I just did a video this morning, and I haven't edited it out and posted it yet. But there was a young man out in the UK who killed himself because a woman dumped him, left him. You know, he even told the woman that he was so depressed. And he had another incident where a guy confided in a woman saying he was depressed and feeling suicidal, and she did nothing. She encouraged the man to kill himself. You know, and you understand what I'm saying? And back to the article, the other article where the man threatened to kill himself if the woman broke up with him. He had a noose around his neck, and the man was obviously crying for help, and you women just called him weak and laughed at him. Well, his particular ex-girlfriend just didn't take the text seriously and just laughed at himself and just called him weak, and he just jumped out the window and killed himself. So most of you women who claim to have a heart, you don't. Because when a man has a good heart, you take his kindness for weakness. And that's what's so sad about most of you women. You just don't care. You don't care about a man's feelings. You just care about your own. And the reason why men don't want to be with you, especially because you just don't care. It's about you. It's not about him. It's not about each. And it really should be. It's about each other. No, but women just want everything just to go their way, and that's just the way it is. You women created this problem, not the other way around. It's your fault. Because it's easy for a woman to find a good man than a man to find a good woman. Because the problem with most of you women, you see nice guys as expendable. You see men as emotionless robots and computers. That's the problem. So, but you know, this article's long, but it's worth the read. It's said that the male ego is fragile as a woman's heart, and unfortunately for women, men don't take the chance of letting it shatter. Why should we? Men should keep their dignity and have pride about themselves. Why don't you let your heart break? Why don't you let your egos break? Let your ego shatter and let your heart shatter, and tell me what it feels like then. While women are willing to put themselves out there, men stand back, scared of the tiniest bruise on their overinflated self-image. Nah, that's not correct. It's the other way around. So yet again, women must be the strong ones. Oh, this is just feminist. It's just spewing feminism. That's why she don't have nobody. We must put ourselves out there and risk rejection. Really? Because if we don't do it, bars will soon be exactly like those middle school dances. Boys on the side, girls on the other. Y'all, most women ain't putting themselves out there. So give me, just be quiet. I mean, it's just a woman just full of herself. That's why she don't have nobody. They got it from their mamas. Well, I agree with this part, and I'll tell you why. Why are men like this? Well, for years they've been raised by their mamas, the women who told them that they were the best thing God created on earth. Now that's just BS. No, most mothers tell their daughters that God is the best thing that they created on earth. That's not the case. I'll read it again. The women who told them that they were the best thing God created on earth. No, you women think like that. Most men don't. Most men are very abused and put down and disrespected. And just when a man's raised by a single mother, most of the time, he's the one who's abused, and he's the one who's told you ain't shit, and he's the one that's told he's stupid, he's dumb. Verbal abuse, physical abuse. Men, he's told he's worthless because, and especially if she says your daddy wasn't worthless. But my thing is, if this guy was worthless, what does that? Why were you with him? What does that say about you? You're the one who's worthless and don't have no self-respect, no pride, no dignity. Because if you did, you wouldn't be sleeping. You wouldn't have sex with a sorry, no good for nothing dude. For years they've been given everything on a silver platter. No, you women have been spoiled to death until they end up in college when they were picking up women who just threw up their jungle juice. That don't make no sense what you just said. Of course, some mothers have raised great men. This isn't to discredit the generation of mothers before us who raised the myriad of young men we're dealing with today, but for the select few that didn't teach them how to properly court a woman, so shame on you. The problem is, let me finish this part. Shame on you for not teaching them how to properly approach a woman. Shame on you for giving them the idea that women must go for them. Shame on you for making them believe all they have to do was stand at a bar and wait for a girl to appear on their arm. This is just BS. Well, I do agree with you. The reason why you got many of these males running around, especially these men, these effeminate males that you women deal with on a constant basis, because most of you women have raised these boys to become effeminate males. You know, men don't got entitlement issues like you women do. You understand? This part over here. Well, you saying you women, now you're shaming other women and criticizing single moms for raising these young men, for raising these boys to be men, and you shame him because he wasn't. You told basically women tell their sons, be a slave, provide for the woman, do this for the woman, do that for the woman. And then when a man does it, she's like, the girl says, who becomes a woman eventually, I don't need no man. I got this and I got that. I'm smarter than a man. I'm more mature than a man. It's just, and well, a lot of women, especially single mothers, told their sons that all women are deserving of respect, when the fact that that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? You know, most you wouldn't want to get mad at why men are not being men. Well, you castrated these boys before they became men with your feminist propaganda, and then you got, don't hit a woman. If a woman hits you, don't hit her back. If a woman attacks you, just take the beating like a man. Take the abuse. Take the disrespect. You should always you should always spend money on a woman. You should always kiss her butt. And these things, and you should put her on a fucking pedestal, even though she's already on a pedestal, thanks to this gynocentric society. And then, especially if this young man is being abused by his mother, when he gets older, he's going to hate women. So you women create these problems. And you're right about saying about men being raised by their mothers instead of being raised by their fathers. And you're right about women picking men who are not qualified to be fathers, and this is why you got this problem in society. That's why you got many of these problems in societies. This is why women don't know how to be a lady, because they were raised without a father. Men don't know how to be men because they were raised without a father. Both boys and girls were taught was feminism. That the world is a matriarchy. They were taught, both boys and girls were taught matriarchy ideologies, gynocentric ideologies and beliefs. So basically, they can when both boys and girls come out of these matriarchal homes, the girl is told that she's better than the boy, and the boy is told that he's inferior to a girl. That's why, and then you wonder why men ain't men, and then men don't stand up for themselves, and they're pushovers and blah, 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 and you're bitching and crying about it now. And this is ridiculous. And I can't wait to get to this last part. I'm sorry for it being long, but this just has to be smacked down. And they think there's always someone better. That's BS. In society in which we live today, with Gigi Handy and Miranda Kerr's Instagrams readily accessible, women have got a lot to compete with. Fortunately, we're competing with women these men will never have a shot with. Unfortunately, these men don't seem to know this. We can dream about Channing Tatum and Chris Pine all we want, but at least women are rational enough to understand that that's just gonna not that's let me read this part again. But at least women are rational enough to understand that's just not going to happen. Most women are not rational creatures. I hate to break it to you. So we settle for the options we have been given to learn to work with what we have. Well, you women, just like I said before, you don't approach men. You deal with guys who come up to you. And you so busy, and women are so picky and so choosing, and they go by looks, they go by stats, they go by fame, they go by money, and other materialistic BS and other superficial qualities that have nothing to do with a long-lasting relationship. And then you women are freaking unhappy, and that's why you women are not satisfied. And that's why, the reason why some of you women settle for sorry ass dudes and dudes who you know aren't good is because of the fact that you're past your prime, you're over 25, or you're over 30. Because once a woman gets in her 30s and she's still single and not married, she'll still have her standards, but she'll just go off her visionary lust. She'll just settle for a guy that she thinks she can control and she doesn't feel threatened by. So she'll go for these no good dudes, men who are easily pussy whipped, easily manipulated. So she'll go for these type of males and then bitch and complain about where are the real men, when the fact of the matter is she can't handle a strong man. You women say we can't handle a strong woman, when the truth of the matter is we don't want to deal with a loud, belligerent, feminazi female who's rude, belligerent, argumentative, disrespectful, condescending, mean, and just very disrespectful, very confrontational, and just very hostile, and just mad at the world every day. Being loud and ignorant, belligerent, disrespectful, and argumentative and combative does not make you strong. And another thing, like I said in my last video, you choosing to endure and bullshit that you put yourself through, you go through all this unnecessary hell and turmoil because you acted on lust and your own indulgences and selfish pleasures. You put yourself through hell by being with a man who you knew was no good. You knew he was trouble. You knew he was bad. You knew he was not the good match for you. But since you've been so picky, that all the nice guys that you rejected, now the men who used to be nice guys feel some type of way about you. Especially if he's successful, he don't want to be with you because of the fact that, hey, when I was down and out, when I was on the come up, you didn't give me a chance. You went for the bad boys, you went for the thugs, you went for these pussy bagger manginas, these effeminate males. You went for these type of guys. And you chase men with a lot of money. You went for these type of guys, and they used you up and chewed you up and spit you out. Now you're mad at the world because the nice guy, the good guy that you rejected, the decent man that you fucking rejected, doesn't want to be with you. And you're mad. I mean, the main problem is with a lot of women is that you turn down so many guys based on superficial qualities, especially looks. Because nobody has a control of what their skin complexion is going to be, what their skin color is going to be, how tall they're going to be, their body size, whether they're going to be thin or bulky. You know, no man has control of what he's going to look like, how tall he's going to be, and what his body image is going to be. We have no control over that. So you go by these superficial qualities, and especially some men don't have control of how much money they're going to make, or what kind of job they got, what kind of job they're going to have. Because, I mean, especially in this economy, it's just like jobs are so hard to come by, and thanks to affirmative action, most of you women are getting these jobs. Well, when the fact of the matter is, a lot of qualified men are being turned away from gainful employment because thanks to gynocentrism. Thanks to this feminist government, now men can't get the job they want, and they can't make the kind of money they want because of these things. And then if he tries to start his own business, he got to go through so much red tape. So this is what happens when female privilege backfires. And this is the last part, right here. This is some BS. It goes back to that lie and propaganda that women mature faster than men. This is just here we go with this BS again. In a sad but not all surprising report by Nickelodeon UK, men are 11 years behind women in maturity. Really? While women reach maturation by 32, men aren't fully matured until 43. While this study is garnered much attention, women everywhere are less than surprised. Didn't we already know this? Nah. Actually, y'all didn't. Y'all just been lied. And to add an insult to a few dates you have yet to be asked on, men are also getting married less than ever before, according to a study by Pew Research Center. Only 26% of Generation Y is married, compared to 48% of our parents at this age. There's no denying that men just don't have their shit together. We're dating less and thus marrying less, and the downfall picks up speed with every failed attempt to ask a woman out. Oh my God. Men are 11 years behind women in maturity. That's propaganda like that. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you women something. When a man becomes a man, especially when he turns 16, 18, whatever, I don't know. I mean, when you become an adult age, I mean, every country's different. When men become men, we put away childish BS things. We put away childish things. You women don't outgrow these childish things. Y'all still, at 30 still behave like children. And there's a reason why women are considered grown children, adult children. Y'all post-adolescents. Y'all got entitlement issues. You think a man owes you something. You think a man should take care of you when you should learn how to take care of yourself. You think a man owes you a living. And when you talk about women reach maturation by 32, what you're saying is you've been sleeping and fucking and sucking. You've been whoring around. Women, you basically shot yourselves in the foot. You go for your teens and your 20s sleeping with multiple men, fornicating with different types of men, even dating married men, even dating men who are in relationships because of the fact that you don't want to put in the work to get to know a man. The reason why some of you women date married men is because of the fact that you don't want to put in the work to give the single guy, man who's single just like you, a chance and opportunity. And plus, that guy is likely in middle age and 40s, more established financially. Economically established. Even though in this day and time, that's not going to be the case anymore because of the jobs being outsourced and all that. And then when you get older, it's hard to get a job. Okay, so you women spend all your time messing with thugs, bad boys, chasing wealthy men. You don't get the single guy a chance, especially if he's a nice guy. You don't give the decent man a chance unless you don't want to talk to him unless he got money. You don't want to talk to him unless he's good looking. You don't want to talk to him unless he a bad boy or a thug who can create drama. You women are so dramatic. Y'all behave like brats still. You think a man owes you something when the truth of the matter is a man don't owe you anything. You behave like spoiled children. So by 32, you basically been ran through. Basically, you had all these dicks inside you. You sucked them a lot. You let men have sex with you. I gotta be political. I can't. I'm in my house, so I can't, and my family's there, so I can't use the words I would normally use. So basically, you fornicated, and you've been with all these types of men. Now, since you hit your early 30s, now you want to get serious. While in the meantime, you had most men who are young, even in their teens and 20s, who wanted to get to know you, who wanted to meet you, who wanted to commit to you. You wasn't ready because you didn't want to be tied down into marriage. You wanted to just slut out your youth, and you call that maturity. And the only reason why they say this propaganda, well, men aren't mature until age 43, is because of the fact that most men who are around that time are established. But see, this is what these women, most of these women and some of you women got daddy issues. You want a man to fix your life. You say you don't need a man, and then you complain and say, well, I need a man to fix fix my house, fix my car, to provide for me and protect me, even though I'm a staunch feminist and I want to be equal to a man, but I don't want the responsibility of being a man. And I want a man to have no responsibility, but I don't believe in their leadership. I want to be in charge, but I don't want them to be responsible. That's how the way a child thinks. It's like a child saying they want to be an adult and they want to have their own stuff. So we try to teach a child responsibility, and you show them what it's like to be an adult. They want to be a kid all of a sudden. See, they want to act grown, but they don't want to be responsible as a grown adult. And that's what most of you women are, grown-ass children. So basically, you women who hoard out and sweated out your youth by being with bad boys, thugs, and chasing rich guys, now that you reach 32, now you want to settle down after you fornicated with multiple sex partners. Don't get me wrong. There are some men who wanted to have multiple women, especially from high school all the way through college. They wanted to have multiple women. Most men have fantasized being with multiple women, but like I said, when a man becomes a man by his mid-20s, we put away childish things, and we don't want to have threesomes, because if you have threesomes with a chick, no, this particularly, that's dangerous because that woman that you having sex with two women or more, they will have sex with each other. It's like basically a woman who's into threesomes, like to sleep with a man and a woman. Chances are she's a lesbian. But like I said before, just because a man doesn't want to commit to you or doesn't want to get intimate with you like that, basically, damn, this is a video. I'm going to hurry up and just, in closing, making my points. Just because a man doesn't want to commit to you and he wants to be with multiple women, that doesn't make him immature. See, that's just shaming language. Just because you're ready for a relationship doesn't mean... I mean, just because a man doesn't want to be in a serious relationship to you doesn't make him immature. Just because a man doesn't want to get married and have kids doesn't make him immature. That actually makes him smart and mature because he's honest about what he wants. He understands what he needs. Most of you women don't take the time. Y'all focus on what you want so much, but you don't take care of your needs. And to be honest with you, I mean, what is the benefit of being in a serious relationship with a woman, especially getting married and having children, when you women, most of you women, get married, you're not happy with the relationship. The man has to do all this work to make you happy. He got to please you. He got to have sex with you a certain way. He got to be romantic to you in a certain way. What do you have to do? What are you bringing to the table? He got to pay for all the bills. He got to have all the responsibilities. And what do you have as a woman? You pick and choose when you want to be responsible. And every time a woman does something for a man, just one thing for a man, she's like, she'll remind that man what I did for you.
That's not.
I mean, I forgot what place I was at because I was getting into it, but what do most women bring to the table? And don't give me, well, I'll give them sex. Nah. Well, I'll bring love and support. No, I mean, because technically most men nowadays, most of them know how to cook for themselves. They know how to be we already been knowing how to be self-efficient and taking care of ourselves. I'm speaking about real men. I'm not talking about the boys you like to mess with because you want to run stuff. You want to be the head of the household and have a slave. I mean, what tangible things does a woman bring to the table? Nobody. I mean, I've asked people, and I've asked women online and in real life, what does she bring to the table other than looking good or giving a guy sex? That's not doing or giving them children. When it comes to sex and children, that benefits her. Especially, it more so benefits her because she decides if she wants to have a child or not. She decides if she wants to get intimate and have sex with a man or not. She chooses whether she wants to be in a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship or not. The man don't have no say-so. So just because a man doesn't want to commit to you because you hoard out your youth, you've been with too many different men, and you allow these sorry, no good. I mean, most of these males that you mess with were sorry and no good, like you claimed. So you let them bust nuts inside you. You fornicated with these guys, and now since they dogged you out, and then now you're tired, and then they broke your heart, and now since you at your age, now you're in your 30s, now you want to get serious. No real man wants sloppy seconds, especially if you have kids from 2-3 different men. No man don't want to be. Your value and your stock has gone down, and then you're past your prime. Your desirability has gone down. You're not valued. You're not a desirable. You are an undesirable, and that's what you don't understand. So I mean, there's men who are ready and committed when they were in their 20s and wanted to get serious with a woman, but no, you wasn't making this type of money. No, you're not this good looking. Think about it. You don't, especially most men don't play games. A lot of you women play a lot of games. You don't want a man, but you want his attention. A lot of you women just want freaking attention, and that's basically still being a child. You're still in a child's place. You've got a child mindset. But it's funny. But it's funny when they talk about about a man's maturity, but a man's maturity and his manhood is questioned all the time. But a woman's maturity is never questioned. It's just assumed that she's more mature than the man, which is BS. I mean, this. I mean, men are for. I mean, you don't know. You don't. A lot of you women don't know what it's like to be a man and deal with the responsibilities and society. And you got to fight through all these challenges. And you don't get no love and support. You don't have men don't have no safety nets. Safety nets. Men don't have welfare on their side. Men don't have access to public assistance and support a family or not, because you're a man. You're supposed to be self-sufficient. And you're supposed to take care of yourself, and that's it. You're supposed to just find a way to take care of yourself and take care of the family. Women, y'all don't go through that. I'm sorry, you don't. You know. The reason why most millennials, my generation, being an 80s baby, Generation Y is not getting married because there's no benefit for a man to get married, because like I said before, if the relationship doesn't work out, and even if you're common law and you live with a woman, if you decide to break up with her or she breaks up with you, she can take you to court and clean you out. She can still get alimony. And she got kids, especially if she leaves you with the kids, you're forced to pay child support. And you don't get custody of your kids, even if you might be the better parent. There's no benefit to that. There's no benefit for a man to get married because, and then you as a man want to get intimate with your wife, guess what? She can say yes or no. She has to, I mean, you got these anti-male laws pushing. If a man forces himself on his wife, he can go to jail for rape anyway. Technically, it's considered rape. But the thing is, most women want the man to do this, do that, serve her, provide for her, protect her, and do all these traditional things of patriarchy, these patriarchal traditions. But the woman don't want to be a patriarchal woman. She don't want to provide. She don't want to provide love for a man. She don't want to provide for her man. She don't want to nurture her man. She don't want to submit to her man. She don't want to nurture her man. Did I say nurture? But I'll say it again. She don't want to be in the nurture. She don't want to be the supporter. She don't want to be any of those things because she don't want to cook. She don't want to clean the house. She wants to be equal when it's convenient for her. She wants tradition when it's convenient for her. And then on top of that, some of these women, when they get married, they gain weight. And then they talk about love is on the inside and all that other BS. But if you as a man let yourself go, if you don't have the muscles, if you don't keep yourself in a certain shape, guess what? She don't want to be with you. If you don't make her happy, if you don't bend over backwards and jump through hoops to cater to her, I mean, the thing is, when you have, especially if you got kids, you gotta cater to your kids, and more so than cater to your woman, your wife. I mean, and then she feels some type of way if you give them more attention to the kids. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the biggest problem in relationships is that people don't know what real love is. And like I said, most men don't want to get married because of these anti-male laws. I mean, because when the man commits to a woman, gets married, and gets serious with a woman, he has a lot to lose. He can lose everything. He can lose his house. He can get put out of his own home, and she can leave him and take the kids and get alimony and child support. And he loses all 90% of his assets. And then you got these anti-male laws and gynocentrism saying that even if you common law, a man can lose everything. If you take care of a woman who has a child from a previous relationship, guess what? And if the relationship doesn't work out, she can force you to pay child support for a child that's not biologically yours. I mean, look at the paternity fraud. Look at the false rape accusation. Look at claims of domestic abuse. Look at these laws of harassment, particularly sexual harassment. I mean, you got all these things, going on, all this misandry and all these anti-males being brought and being passed by this criminal gynocentric government that we live under. You got all these things. I mean, what's the benefit of even talking to a woman? If you talk to a woman, she can take that. Oh, she can make a claim of harassment. She can accuse you of stalking. If you walking down the street and you go in the same direction, she can accuse you of being a stalker. So, I mean, there's a reason why men don't want to get married. Most men don't want to get married. I mean, and don't believe in marriage because there's no benefit of a man being married. I mean, think about it. I mean, there's no benefit to a man getting married. A woman has a lot to gain, but a man doesn't. I mean, the only thing that benefits a man from being married and having a family is having a good wife, a good woman. But how many women are actually good? I'm not saying there's no bad men out here, but I mean, but there's more good men than there is good women. There are men who really want to have a family, get married and have a family, but most women, if you don't make her happy, if you don't jump through hoops to please her and kiss her butt, you lose everything. It doesn't even matter if you get a prenuptial agreement, and then if you want to get a prenuptial agreement, then she wants to shame you and call you selfish and she wants to talk about love. And one of the things is, love is emotional. I mean, getting a prenup and getting her to commit to a certain contract is the way to go now, because a woman can mess you over and destroy your life. So there's a reason why a man's not gonna. That's why most men are going their own way, and that's the dirty secrets. And that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Peace. I mean, if many of you women want to have a family, get married and have a family and do all these things, you gotta bring stuff to the table. What are you bringing? You gotta ask yourself, what are you bringing to the table? And you gotta play your role. I mean, if you want a man to play his role, you gotta play yours. Love is about 50-50. One hand washes the other. What you want him to do for you, you got to do for him. But most of you women are not willing to do that, and that's why most men are not getting married. And that's the way. And that's why you're alone, and that's why you're miserable, and that's why you're bitter, because you messed your life up. And not only that, feminism messed your life up, but it messed our lives up, and that's why things are the way they are. If you're not happy about it, you got to change it. But I know most of you don't want to change it because you love your female privilege. And since you love your female privilege, guess what? Then you're going to be miserable. And that's all I got to say. I'm out. Peace.